Very good. Before we go to our public comment period on proposed agenda items only, we're going to give a brief update on where our pool committee has been. Mr. Poach, if you could give an update,
Mr. Mayor,
please.
can I interrupt 1 second?
Mr. Duncan.
Yeah, I'd like to, prior to the residents speaking or anybody speaking on the agenda items, I'd like to ask for an amendment to the agenda, if council would entertain that. And I would ask for an amendment of ordinance number 5, the swimming pool, that we amend it to add, if the ordinance passes tonight, that the money for the sale of the pool be put into an escrow account specifically for Parks and Rec. Is that possible to do?
Are you making a motion?
I'd like to
On that?
make a motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any comment on this, council?
Well, I think comment from this report may be beneficial to everyone as well, and then to bring it back up.
Well, we have a motion and a second.
Let's vote.
And, well, no, during our comment period, I think this is appropriate to comment.
Right.
So during our
Absolutely.
deliberation period here of the motion and the second, Mr. Poach, if you could,
Sure.
please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an important issue, and we're happy to do that. We discussed updating it to everyone last time. So as a quick reminder of the committee, the membership in that committee is the mayor, Mr. Harvey, myself, and Mr. Little as the manager, too. To remind everyone what the mission of this group has been since we started, it's the committee's operated on the premise that the Bel Air facility is no longer going to be available and that the new pool facility is cost prohibitive. The committee's been able to review the status of the aquatics programs, is to do that and sponsored by Monroeville, and develop some effective strategies to ensure that those programs continue into the future. We had a couple of objectives up to this point, and we're going to continue on with this. The program is not done. This is just sort of a mid-program update. Our objectives have been that we're going to meet with the Monroeville neighborhood pools regarding their viability as organizations and their willingness to participate in, extended aquatic programs in conjunction with the Monroeville Parks and Recreation folks as well, their needs. And we're going to survey the Monroeville residents and Bel Air pool regarding their services that were provided. So I believe we've accomplished those objectives up till this point right now, and that's all we've done here. Where this information has come from, it comes from firsthand sources, things that people that we have talked to, your testimony here that we've talked about here, and comments in place. We reviewed those from the transcripts of our meetings and information that we've had since June, since this committee began. We've had some notes from our focus groups as well to help influence, and our meetings with the neighborhood pools. As a reminder to this point, that included Garden City, the Gateway Heights Club, Haymaker Swim Club, the Park Swim Club, and the Henry Kaufman Family Park as well. We had surveys sent out, survey data. As a note to that, there were 67 member households that were surveyed, and households, the membership includes more than just one person as well. There were 41 responses returned to us through a number of different means, about 61% of them. And also we've considered any current official communications that have come to us, not supposition, not somebody said, but things that have come through to that office. Up to this point, right now, there's been at least one facility that's definitely available as a home for the swim team to do that. There may be more venues available. We definitely have an option for the Barracudas team to do that. All the Parks and Recreation programs that use Bel Air can be duplicated in more than one, if not all, of the neighborhood pools. So they're the programs that we've cited to continue. We'll be able to continue to do that. Currently, one of the neighborhood pools does offer a day usage rate, which is a topic of that. That's the Kaufman Park does that, and will continue to do so and continue to make that available. In our discussions with neighborhood pools, there's organizations, they're viable. They indicated to us that they have to work very hard every year to maintain those particular services. And as an update right now, to date, there's no formal written agreements that's signed between Monroeville and any of the neighborhood pools. That in and of itself leads us to our next steps, which is probably the question that many of you have. We currently have a meeting scheduled for October the 29th. We're making sure all the principals and those organizations are available to us, with us in the committee and the neighborhood pools, to work out the details and frameworks of continuing forward with the program and the objectives that we need to have in place. And that's the update on the committee's activities up to this time.
Very good. And something else that I wanted to add that we discussed
You want to add to it?
was
Would this be now when I would
Yeah.
make another motion?
for a change to the ordinance?
Can I do a
Or
motion?
do we
Why
have to
does
vote
my
on
motion
his?
fail, or,
No.
I'm not sure.
You've got to,
Do we, I'm asking, do we vote on yours first and then?
Yeah, I think you should
also
vote
have
on
another one.
Steve's
That's
first,
what I
yeah.
thought.
And if I could just add some discussion in the same realm, we have found out since our last meeting that as far as the mineral rights of the Bel Air pool, we did, with mineral rights, we have,
I know.
we did a 6-year title search. We could not find out who owned the mineral rights for the pool. However, the Turnpike has agreed to not purchase the mineral rights. So that'll be written up in the deed. So the sale of the property will not convey the mineral rights to the Turnpike. So whoever owns them will retain those rights. So I just wanted to add that into this discussion of the update at this point.
That's good news.
Well, that was what I wanted to make the motion to do. Don't one of us have to make that?
I'm not making the motion. I was just
I
adding the
know,
discussion.
but that's what I was going to make the motion,
I-
that's inclusive into this ordinance,
Well, no,
as
what-
well as what Mr. Duncan had asked for.
So the way we're going to handle this is we have a motion and a second on the floor for the proceeds to go into the park and recreation
Correct.
funds? Escrow account?
Correct.
Specifically for the Parks and Rec. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt.
no, for parks, so yeah, to be clear, so Parks and Recreation, facilities, maintenance.
Buildings,
It just-
whatever needs to
Right,
be
exactly.
done in the Parks and Rec.
And then I just wanted to also have it say that the deed conveying the property shall contain a reservation clause retaining all mineral and oil and gas rights to the extent that such rights are owned by the municipality.
Excellent. So,
So we-
but I'm going to take his
His
vote
vote
first,
first,
and then you have
that's-
to make a second motion.
Wait a minute.
I'd be happy to.
Well,
Or if
Steve,
Mr.
would you be willing to amend your motion to include what Mrs. Gatos wants to include, in addition to what you have proposed?
If this total thing passes tonight, yes, absolutely. I have
Okay.
no issue with that.
All right, so vote on those amendments.
So, council, is everyone clear on what we're voting on here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That there are 2 amendments to the ordinance.
Get a second on the amended motion.
I'll give you the second on the amended motion.
We have a motion and a second. Voting in the affirmative is to support both of these amendments to the ordinance. this vote is not the sale, or is not passing the ordinance itself. This is only passing,
The language.
amending the ordinance.
Correct.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Arsenko? Aye. Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
The ayes have it.
We'll bring up the motion, bring up the ordinance now.
Mayor, do we now vote on the ordinance?
Let's bring it up.
You're waiting until,
I believe what we have to do is still have a public comment period for the actual
Prior
ordinance.
to it?
Mr. Ratcher?
yeah, I agree.
Okay, just making
go to
sure we're
public
all on the
comment.
same page.
So now that we have our updated ordinance that is being considered this evening with those 2 amendments, we will open up the floor for public comment on agenda items only.